Anonymous letters, some of my favorite cases. So sometimes people leave a nasty letter on your car and you want to know who it is. Like, who wrote that? Well, that's just a car. Then no damage is done. But what about a murder? What about Sirhan and other things where you're like, wait, we have all this handwriting. We need to know who wrote this handwriting, because who wrote this handwriting was at the crime. Remember the JonBenét Ramsey case? I mean, that entire ransom note was technically an anonymous letter. We don't know who signed it. And so they had to go through dozens of suspects to see if anybody actually has similar handwriting to that letter. That's a whole different case, and that's a case I can't talk on YouTube because I actually talked to John Markard. That was a pretty interesting conversation, I'll tell you what. But he had the most similar handwriting of anybody that they had a suspect to the ransom note. But being the author of the ransom note, does that mean he killed her? Well, that's the question that's still up in the air 30 years later with that case. So the answer is anonymous letters can be determined the authorship. You just have to have the right suspect pool. What that means is that you have to have 2 or 3 viable suspects. This happens a lot with corporations, HOAs, companies where they have a letter that's really nasty and derogatory toward the CEO, maybe even a threat. So they need to know which employee is making these threats. So the only way to do that, and it's not cheap, by the way, because you've got to get not only the anonymous letter, but you all have to get the employee files of hundreds of employees, or at least narrow it down to the 5 or 10 people that really hate Bob or Mindy or whoever the letter was about. So that's an anonymous letter case. Now, it's really easy to do if you have enough writing of suspects and if you have enough writing in the letter. But I've had cases where they just like, well, it's a typed letter. We have a very short address on the front and a zip code. That's not a lot of writing, especially if that's in printed form. So generally, it's the quantity of writing, the quality of writing, and the pool of suspects can solve an anonymous letter case. We've even had anonymous writing on a bathroom wall. Happens. Some kid got kicked out of school, and the parents were like, we know he didn't write that. He said he didn't write that on the bathroom wall. We need a letter from you to prove it so he gets back in school. I don't remember how that case turned out, but it happens all the time. And when people get kicked out of school, they can't go to the college they want. So there's a lot at stake, worth spending thousands of dollars on a forensic handwriting expert on a case, which we call anonymous letters, or writing that you don't know who wrote it. My name is Bart Baggett. If this has been helpful in any way, hit like and subscribe. If you have a case involving handwriting or documents, one of our experts can help you out, at least give you some legal guidance on how that might turn out if you decide to engage or retain a forensic handwriting expert. You can find me at handwritingexpertusa.com or call one of my staff members to help you out. Like and subscribe. I do a lot of psychology on this channel, do a lot of forensics, a lot of crime, a lot of legal stuff. And if you're a lawyer or you like that kind of stuff, I think you'll enjoy my stories. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.